نهار جديد يبعث معه أملاً جديداً لنرسم الرؤية ونصنع الإنجاز. كل نهار جديد يبعث أمجاد الأمس وطموح أمة تسابق الزمن بكل عزم وإصرار لأجل عمان اليوم غاية وهدف. منذ أكثر من 50 عاما من جيل إلى جيل لأجل عمان الغد.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final round of the Oman International Drift Championship. My name is Mike Leeson, I'll be commentator with you this weekend, and what a weekend it's set to be. The track we have is absolutely amazing. A lot of drivers are out of their comfort zone, trying to get comfortable today in practice, changing diff ratios and doing all the little bits to make themselves comfortable, but they have got there. We are coming to you live from the Muscat Drift Arena in beautiful Muscat, Oman, and I can just see our first car coming to the line. This is the finale, it's qualifying, it's round 4 of season 5, and it's going to be a good one. We have 8 potential drivers who can walk away the champion of 2023 this year, and they are going hard for that spot. But as we see our first car on the line, it is Salah, car number 63 in his S14, and he is just getting a signal from the drivers, making his way. Salah is representing Qatar. As we see him tearing down the straight now, he's coming in. Tentative initiation, not as wide as the judge would like. Is he going to over-rotate? Oh, and he does, unfortunately. It's a big, long, fast pull for that first corner, and it looks like Salah maybe just throwing it a little bit too much angle, and just unfortunately getting it all wrong there at the start. But as we see him now, I'm sure he's going to use the rest of this run to just get the grips of the cars. We see him flicking there now out wide a bit by clip 3. This is the most technical part between 3 and that outer zone 4 there. A lot of drivers struggling with that, but just towards the end of practice, maybe the last half an hour or so, they were starting to get grips with it. So it's going to be a very interesting evening tonight. So we just have our qualifications tonight. We have 48 drivers from over 10 different countries fighting for them top 32 spots to try and get into battle action tomorrow. So yeah, we just see Salah now just getting the grips of that car. You can see just not doing what he was doing earlier on in practice. I'm not sure if that is nerves or what's after happened to him, or is it just me starting off with a commentator's curse. But our next car is on the line, and it is Abdullah Saif. As we see a beautiful drone shot of Muscat Drift Arena here, and how amazing does it look. There's a nice technical first section, so you can see there. So it's Abdullah Saif Al-Mari leaving the line as he's coming down. No big weight transfer, he's coming in very easy. Late flick, I'm not sure if he was even sideways by the zone. The judges do want him mid-track through that first line. He gets clip 2, inside clip 3, as Kieran Hines said in the briefing this morning. That is the most important one, but he ends up completely on the inside of the track. He's meant to be out in that outer zone 4 there. So we see him doing anything he can. He's really looking like he's fighting that S14. Like that car is just struggling. I did see it was on axle stands earlier on. He was changing diffs. I'm not sure if he's having mechanical gremlins or what's going on, but look, Abdullah's doing anything he can now to just salvage the rest of this run as we see him coming into outer zone 5, transitioning back around out to the wall. Yeah, very, very shallow there, so not what our judges want to see, but look, it probably would be a score on the board. Just see a replay there. Yeah, not sideways by the initiation zone, so our judges say you need to have the car broad sideways by that line across the central track, which is known as the initiation zone. Just Abdullah unfortunately getting it all wrong. Okay, so up next we have Mazouz in his Eurofighter. As we see, another driver, you know, he wasn't here at the last round. I know he was struggling today with gear ratios. No, just getting it all wrong there, coming into the most difficult track. That's a big opposite drift there now. The judges, you know, they don't want that. Very shallow there through zone 4. As we see him transition wide, 2 wheels for 5, coming through, aiming out for clip 6. Yeah, this is a bit of a scrappy run from Mazouz. as we see him nearly shutting down there now, in a big straighten again as he and another big straighten. And he's coming around the last corner. Just unfortunately for Mazus, getting it all wrong. All wrong, so we will have to see what he can do on his second run. So our judge is just having a look at a quick replay here to see what happened. Or he ended up, the judges said they wanted a mid-track through that section there, but just here now he gets two no bother, and then that opposite drift. See that big handbrake lock to keep him on track, and then yeah, the opposite drift in between 3 and 4. Very shallow there from Mazus, so not what the judges want to see. Yeah, dropping wheels there again, very unfortunate for him. So we will finish this replay and we will move on to our next driver, which is Hamza.
Хрен его знает, товарищи, как-то так. Как-то так, ну...
Okay, up next it's Hamza Naham, and he is representing Jordan in that yellow E46 BMW. Another driver that was actually struggling today with that first section. You know, it is very technical as we see Hamza throwing it in wide there, big flick. Yeah, just completely outgeared it seems. You can hear that BMW screaming. Look at the flames shooting from the bottom of the car in the bonnet as he comes in now to the first transition. A little bit of a wobble coming through zone 4 and very wide again out through 5 as he transitions back. And yeah, just Hamza doing whatever he can to try and keep that car sideways, but he comes around the last zone and over the line. Okay, so up next we have Zarif. Zarif is representing Syria. So we see him just calling over our starting marshal. Not sure exactly what's going on. Hopefully he doesn't have any mechanical issues. So we will be starting in reverse championship order. These are the guys who are at the bottom of the championship, unfortunately, and we'll be working our way up. So as we see Zarif in this absolute beautiful E30, throwing it in nice and wide, getting zone 1, lovely mid-line, like the judge's ass, pushing out, getting the clip 2, lovely. This is not a bad start to run to Zarif as he comes through clip 3 now. A bit of a straight, and this is the most difficult part. A lot of drivers end up on the inside and not getting all of zone 4. As we see Zarif now transitions back, getting out to 5 as he puts the foot down, aiming for 6. Little bit shallow, but you know, he's not doing much wrong. He's okay, 1 or 2 little mistakes, but he is keeping it on as he transitions into the last corner. Oh, and he over rotates, unfortunately, doing anything he can to save it, but I think that would possibly be a 0 for his first run. So yeah, unfortunately for Zarif, a good start to that run, but just not the finish he would be hoping for. This is the most technical part of the track. The judges said clip 3 right there, that's the most vital clip. A little bit of a straight, and see where he ends up on the inside. They want him moving that white line on the outside, getting out to the wall. Just yeah, Zarif unfortunately only get half the zone. You know, he did get there for the second half, but the judges want him in from the start and holding a nice line all the way around. Okay. So up next we have Medulla McGead. As we see Abdullah just a little bit wide coming in there now, clipping cone. Nice midline as he's making his way in through zone 3. You see, yet again, another driver just ended up on the inside, not getting as deep into zone 4, but he keeps it sideways and transitions back a little bit shallow for 5. As we see him on all the angle to try and hold that S14 on track. As he transitions back through 7, lining up for the wall. Flicks in, not in that zone at all, as he makes it around the last corner and over the finish line. A bit of a straight in there for Abdullah as he comes between 1 and 2, so he's not liking that one. He's also getting one wheel off on the inside there by the 3. I'm not sure if it's nerves or what it is. It's like, that's a really technical section. You know, it took a lot of guys a bit of time today in practice to dial it in to try and get from the inside clip 3 pushing out wide to 4. So as we move on to our next driver, which is Zahar, representing Oman in his Nissan 370Z. Okay, so we see the lights on our start line flashing, and we have Zahar away. You see him tearing down the straight. Listen to the bangs coming out of this 370 as he throws it in, getting clip 1, nice line through. Oh, just watching a little bit too wide, just has to dial off some angle to try and straighten it, which puts him out wide for 3. Unfortunately for Zahar there, it's just like he's out geared completely, dragging the handbrake, just trying to keep that car sideways. As we see him now coming around to our first transition. Oh, just shutting it down. Has to reinitiate, so yeah, that will... Unfortunately for him, I'm not sure what that is, but I'd say if it's a mechanical issue or what, but I'd say it's possibly a 0 from our judges. So as we see Zahar leave the track, we will wait for our next driver, which should be car number 62, Dennis Miguel. So we just have to await some marshals just to fix 1 or 2 little cones there after Zahar, and we will be sending Dennis Miguel very, very soon. Yeah, the first half of this track this weekend is very technical, and we see a lot of drivers struggling with it already. You know, it took some of the more experienced drivers a little bit more time to get used to it, but they all just started dialing in the last practice runs, as we see Miguel coming down the straight, throwing it in that E46 BMW. Nice line there now through 1, 2, back into 3. Just maybe putting the 1 wheel slightly off there as he gets into zone 4 door. Not as deep as our judges would like to see, but he gets there for the end as he transitions back around now for zone 5. Working our way through the crossover section, dropping 1 wheel, clipping the cones. As we see him now through 6, transitioning for touch and go 7, which lines him up for the wall run. Not as deep on the wall, but he does get that outer zone as he comes around the last corner and over the line. So yeah, not a bad run, 1 or 2 little mistakes, but not a bad first run for Dennis Miguel.
Всему научили, и теперь поедут местные. 8 зон, где
Okay, so we move back to the line, and it is our only female competitor this weekend. It is Nora Dude in this crazy E46. Look at the flames shooting out the bonnet on this shock. This is just, this engine setup has my mind blown, but Nora not doing a bad job at all. Coming through clip 3 now as we see her putting the foot down, coming in, small dab of the handbrake just to settle the car as she gets into zone 4. Putting, possibly 2 wheels off just at the end of zone 4, and she transitions back now for 5. Listen to the pops and bangs from this E46 BMW as she puts foot to floor, coming up, lining up for the wall run. Can she get deep in the wall? No, just a bit of a straighten coming in to the last zone as she comes her way around the corner and over the line. Definitely seen Nora do some better runs today. So we just see Nora, unfortunately, just at the end of zone 4, dropping wheels. It just messed her up there for the transition to 5. Does a good job though to get it back online here through 6, and she snaps back for the touch and go at 7, hitting that cone that she'd already knocked on the other side of the track. And then yeah, just a bit of a straighten coming in here into the wall. So it will be a score on the board, but it won't be a high one, unfortunately, for Nora. So a lot of work to do on the second run. Okay, so up next it is Yazir Al Shartar representing Qatar in this crazy S15. Look at the smoke. This thing is an absolute monster. He takes the wall there coming by clip 2. Seeing the back of that car flicks as he comes in now. Big handbrake drag to try and settle that 15 into zone 4. So we know our judges do not want a big long drag. They just want a dab to settle the car and back on throttle, using the flick of the car basically to get the transition done. Now as we see Yazir coming in to the touch and go clip 7, using all the lock as he flicks back and ending up on the inside of the track for the last corner, missing zone 8 completely, and he makes it over the line. So yeah, another guy that has a little bit of work to do on his second run, you know, dropping some wheels there, consistently dropping wheels that will just drop little bits and pieces off the judge's score, and it will definitely affect the total score. So see there now, not too deep, going through 1. No, it was the pony to the top of the wall, and just in the back of the car. There, yeah, see that big long handbrake. That's not what the judges want. They just want a quick dab to settle the car. So his score will be affected by that one. He still does a good job to try and get a score on the board for his first run. A bit of work to do in his second. So as we head back to the line, it's another driver representing Oman. It is Wokas Al-Bulshi. We just wait for some cones to be cleared up on the track. So our start line marshal gives Wokas the signal. The lights flash and away he goes. As we see Wokas coming down the straight. Oh, look like he missed a gear or something there in that Mustang, but he gets it going and he was flicking in nice through clip 1. A nice mid-line as he lines himself up for 2. And hitting inside clip 3. This is a good start to run here from Wokas. But a big handbrake drag. A little bit too early as well, which puts him inside. He does a good job to try and keep at least one wheel in zone 4 as he transitions back across for 5 now. On a nice wide line is Wokas in this Mustang. Missing 6 though as he transitions for the touch and go at 7. Barely getting into clip 7. He needs to use all the lock to try and get out there. Will he get deep out to the wall? He does, into zone 8 as he hugs that outer line right around the last corner and over the finish line. So yeah, very good start to that run from Lopez. That could have finished at 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe just a little bit too much of a drag in there, but he does keep it really even in 4, so he might be deducted sometimes, but not too many. You see him position now, getting ready for 6, flicking back for the touch and go at 7. Okay, up next it is Bullseye representing Malaysia in this crazy S15. This thing is a monster. So we see Bullseye thrown in a little bit shallow, but he does a good job to keep it in between the white lines as he comes through clip 3 there now. Big handbrake drag yet again, trying to get into zone 4, keeping 2 wheels inside that zone. This is not a bad first run from Bullseye as we see him flick back for 5. Listen to the screams you can see by the back of that Nissan Silvia S15. He's had a few little taps with the wall this morning in practice, but nothing too major. He's just finding his limits as we see him flick back for the last corner. Lovely zone 8 and out over the line. So yeah, not a bad run from the Malaysian driver, Bullseye. Just maybe flicking a small bit early, which kind of put him the inside. He did a good job there from 2 to 3 to get this car back on line. So, yeah, Bullseye, anything you can. I actually think he had to drag the handbrake to save that one because it was sending him really to the inside. So, Bullseye doing a good job to keep it out, picking it out of his own phone. So, we see him now. Here it is, another little tap, breaking a little bit off that bumper. That S15 has had a hard season this year here in the Oman International Drift Championship, but it's the final round, so I'm sure he doesn't care about adding a few more battle scars. Okay, up next, representing the Ukraine, it is Kremitz in this crazy Toyota Alteza. This thing is mental. You just see flames coming out the bonnet and the wing of this car nearly permanently. Seeing Kremitz in the warm-up box is actually an experience itself. As we see our start line marshal giving him the signal, and away he goes. As we hear the screams of him coming down the straight. Look at the flame shooting. Oh, big flick, and he runs over his bumper and ends up in the wall. I think his bumper locked his steering kit there, and very unfortunate for the Ukrainian driver. Just getting it all wrong. Kremitz was putting in some good runs earlier on in practice, so I think he just went for that big wild flick. You know, it's risk reward with our judges here today. They said they don't want to see a straight line handbrake. They said you'd be scored higher for the big flick with no handbrake. So yeah, just unfortunate, just not playing off for Kremitz. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do in his second run as we see him coming in here. Massive flick, just the cone getting stuck under his steering kit, which just would not allow the front of that Alteza to turn. So yeah, unfortunately for Kremitz, that would be a 0 on his first run. So yeah, we just await our marshals. Just a small bit of a clean up there after Kremitz's contact with the wall. So we will be moving on to our next driver, which is Nazar Armultari, representing Kuwait. Nazar's sitting up the front of briefing earlier on today. He was asking so many questions, just trying to get every bit of information out of our judges' heads to figure out what they want, and studying. You know, I've seen him grow strength to strength in the last 2 rounds, so I'm really hoping, you know, he can pull out the bag and get a good qualifying run in today. So yeah, I'm just having a look out the window here, and I can see our track team just rebuilding that water barrier wall over in the corner, just making sure it's safe for all drivers, and we will be sending Nazir very shortly. Okay, so we are away with Nazir Al-Mutari representing Kuwait as he thrown it in. Oh, just ending up a little bit wide, but he does a good job to hold it. Big straight in there though, coming into clip 3. Just unfortunate for Nazir getting it all wrong, and he's not in oh! Wow, he lucky not to make contact with the wall. So yeah, another driver has a lot of work to do on their second. Just see there, yeah, unfortunately as he's coming in, just getting it all wrong with 3. It's like he clutch kicked it. The whole car just decided it wanted to go a different direction than the driver wanted to go. So yeah, we will move it on to our next driver, as I can hear him in the burnout box. So yeah, we move it on to our second Malaysian driver, which is Fu Wei Shran in his BMW E92. Okay, so he gets the signal and away he goes. Nice and slow through the chicane, making sure not to clip any cones. As we hear the bangs of that BMW coming down the straight. Lovely initiation from Fu as he does a nice lead line, trying to keep that foot planted on the accelerator, not letting that car straighten, making it lovely to 3 as we see him now, big handbrake drag, trying to get it wide down to 4. Just end up a small bit on the inside, but he does a good job to get it out wide. But yeah, putting him in the wrong place just before the transition, which has messed up the second part of this run, as we see Fu doing anything he can to try and salvage the last few points. Big clutch kick and a handbrake there through 7, which is technically a full throttle zone. Lovely wall run though, credit where credit's due, as he's nearly over rotates in zone 8 and gets it over the line. That's going to be 50-50 with our judges. Was it a spin or did he save it? Hey, I'm just a commentator, I'm only going to speculate, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened because that's the judge's job. Lovely initiation. There's a good start to the run. I thought Fu was on a winner here. So you see him getting deep through 2, 3, nice. And then yeah, just here ends up maybe on the handbrake a bit too early to stop him going wide. And then when he gives it a clutch kick, gets out a bit more, and that's when he starts dropping wheels. And just unfortunate for Fu, he starts to get it a little bit wrong from this point on. So yeah, it will be a score on the board, but I don't think it will be a high one. Okay, we move it back to the line. We see Abdullah Jawad representing Qatar. Okay, and so our start line marshal gives the signal, and Abdullah is away for his first qualifying run. This is another driver that I was talking earlier on. I know he was struggling with gear ratios. He's actually changed the diff twice today, trying to find something that's suitable for that first section, and maybe he's found it, because this is a very nice first section. Oh, bit of a handbrake jag, puts him a small bit early on the inside of the track. Can he keep it in the zone and off that yellow line? He does. See him transition back now for zone 5, very shallow, barely getting one wheel in the zone. You know, our judges want to see 2 wheels consistently in that zone, but Abdullah doing a nice job now through 6 out to 7. Not as deep as we'd like to see him, but he is holding it. And whoa, tagging it back at that 180 SX along the wall, putting 2 wheels in zone 8 as he brings it around the last corner and over the line. It's not a bad run, but from the difficult morning he's had in practice, I know he's going to be happy with that one. As we just watch Abdullah's replay come into the last corner, he's really doing anything to try and keep 2 wheels in that zone, as he's on nearly 90 degrees. Going over the finish line. Okay, so our marshals are just tidying up some cones on the track, and we'll move on to our next driver, which is Riyad Al Mabzari, representing Oman in the Mark IV Supra. This car has had a hard season. It's had a few tips with the wall, but it's still going well, and Riyad is still smiling, absolutely loving this new layout. I was talking to him this morning, he just said it was so much fun. It's probably his favourite layout of this season. So as we await Riyad to get a signal from the start line. Okay, and away he goes. So Riyad is off as we see him coming down the straight. Jason screaming in the Supra as he throws it in. Lovely initiation from Riyad. As we see him maybe a little bit more wider than we wanted. Our judges wanted a midline there through that first section, but he gets out to zone 2. Taking the box for zone 3, a small bit wide for 4. Has to dial off some angle, which pushed him a small bit to the inside of the track. Doing a good job now to salvage the second half of that zone as he transitions back for zone 5. That was very nice by Riyad. Keeping the foot in, getting through 6, transitioning back for the touch and go at 7. Not getting out as wide at all, which will put him in deep to the wall though. As we see him running the back of that Supra on the wall, filling zone 8 and smoking the place out over the lines. It's not a bad run. 1 or 2 little mistakes, but overall it's not a bad run from Riyad. So as we just watch Riyad's replay here, just a handbrake jag just to set the car to zone 5. And yeah, I think it was just here where he gets it a small bit wrong. He transitions maybe just a little bit too early. Not getting out to 7. All, look at that wall run. The back of the car, lovely along the wall. And deep into zone 8. Say up next we have Mick Kelly, the Irishman representing Australia. He's been living out there for the last 10 plus years, and this is just a monster of a car that Mick has brought to the Oman International Drift Championship. It's possibly the loudest car I've ever seen. He said to me just before we went to qualifying, he's done a quick gear change, did 1 lap and feels the car's much better now. As we see Mick Kelly throwing it in, nice midline, just playing with the throttle because the power this 180 SX has. Oh, and a bit of a straight and through 3 just for Mick, fortunately getting it all wrong. As we see him now putting the foot down in zone 4, absolutely, as soon as he puts the throttle down, the screams, and he lighting up them back wheels. But yeah, maybe Mick just transitioned a small bit too early. Does well to get it out to clip 6 now as he flicks back for the second last transition, getting the touch and go at 7 as he lines himself up. Last transition out to the wall into zone 8. Oh, just ended a small bit on the inside. The judges would like to see him deeper in that zone, but he brings it over the line. Not a bad run for Mickey Moo. A few small little scrappy mistakes, but you know, he can't tidy up in his second run. So as we see Mickey Moo's replay here, just on the front brakes, getting that 180. This car is a monster. When you're watching it in person, as soon as he puts the foot down, it just takes off. Absolutely crazy. So much power in this car. Mickey Moo, one of the characters of the paddock. He's a favourite here in Oman. We're really enjoying to see it. I'm actually more excited because I know after the last round this weekend, that car's heading back to Ireland, and I cannot wait to see that back in Ireland. But yeah, you know, I think it's just from here now. Savage zone 8, but he's a small bit of work to do on his last run. As we look at a drone shot of this beautiful venue here in Muscat, Oman. But we moving on to our next driver, which is Ehab. Ehab's representing the Lebanon. Ehab was killing it in practice this morning, and then something happened. I don't know what happened, but that car was on axle stands for a good portion of practice with the gearbox out, and got maybe one lap, if I'm correct, in just before we came to the end. So I'm not sure exactly what's wrong. He's not looking the same driver like we've seen this morning, so I don't know if he broke a diff or something, and maybe he's not driving with the ratio he wanted. I didn't get a chance to go over to talk to him, but we see Ehab just putting the foot down, trying to do anything he can to salvage this run. He's very shallow everywhere, not as deep as the judges would want him, but he's using all the luck there as he transitions for the second last time. Not getting fully down deep into clip 8, but not too bad either on the wall run as he comes around the last corner. Absolute scream to this S14. It's a crazy build it is, and yeah, just unfortunate for him he's not doing the same runs as he was doing this morning. So yeah, we see Ehab there just dropping one, possibly two wheels, big straight in there at 3. Judges did say that 1, 2 to 3 and up to zone 4 is so important. You need to be on nearly a perfect line to make it work, and a nice wide line at that. So Ehab really looking like he's fighting that car, he's doing absolutely anything he can to try and keep it sideways. But yeah, just unfortunate for him. Not as good as some of the runs he was doing earlier in practice, but as we always say, you can do as many good runs in practice. It's the 2 qualifying runs are the ones that count. So another guy, a bit of work to do on his second run. But we move on to Ali Al-Shahani, representing Oman. So we hear this absolute monstrous S15. This car is ridiculously loud. You cannot stand beside this when it's in the burnout box. You'll end up going deaf. As we see Ali throwing it in nice and wide through 2. Maybe putting one wheel off at 3, but not doing a bad job of big handbrake drag. Nearly bringing that car to a stop, waiting for it to settle. As he absolutely smokes. This guy has bazooka row all around his car, and I think I know why. His noises over there are insane. As we see Ali now transitioning for the second last time, getting wide out to 7, maybe coming away a small bit early from that clip. As he flicks back now, big handbrake drag again, shallow of the wall, but he gets out to zone 8, putting the foot down and bringing it over the line. I think, you know, he just puts the foot in that car and hangs on as a passenger, because that thing looks, it's a monster. It looks like it's a handful to drive. So yeah, not the best run we've seen of Ali so far today, but the worst one we've seen in qualifying so far. As we see Ali Al-Shahani just really like he's snapping that car early. It's kind of like he's like, I just want this to be over, you know, that sort of way, like kind of hanging on and just enjoying the ride. So maybe a bit more work to do on his second run. But we move on to another driver from Lebanon, which is Samir in his V8 E36. Such a nice guy. We were having good chats last night in the hotel. He is just loving this season, oh man. But we see Samir just clipping the cone, which puts him very wide, putting nearly a wheel off there at zone 1. Now he kind of gets it back under control as he comes through clip 2 now. Nice job through 3 as Samir salvages the back of that. Oh, handbrake's a bit too early, which pushes him on the inside. He has to clutch in, let the car stall up to try and get back out for zone 4, and he's very shallow, missing zone 5 completely. Yes, Samir just ending up a little bit too much on the inside. He's going to have to pedal that car now to try and get it back and salvage the second half of this run as he transitions for the last time out to the wall. Lovely and wide through zone 8. Coming away maybe a small bit early. The judges want them hugging that outer white line, but Samir brings it over the line and will put a score on the board. I know he will be happy with that one. So you see this flick here, such an aggressive flick in. The judges did say it's risk reward, but you know, you are risking to drop wheels like that. Unfortunately, that will be a bit of a deduction, but you know, it's not a full deduction. So just from this point here now, we see he's halfway around zone 4. Then he gets deep, and then yeah, he just transitions a small bit too early, just cutting out zone 5 completely, ended up on the inside of the track, has to like put the foot down to try and get back to 6. And yeah, a little bit of work to do for Samir on his next run. Okay, up next it's Rifat, the local driver. It's Swap Oman. He helps out everyone who's over, all the international drivers, anyone that's over this event, because he's a local part shop here. But Rifat, one of the nicest guys in the grid, and he's driving unbelievable today. Look at this for a start run from Rifat, as we see the bangs from the wastegate at 180SX, doing a lovely job through zone 4 as he puts the foot down, maybe just dropping one wheel a little bit too wide as he flicks back there, getting zone 5. Lovely. Rifat now doing anything he can just to hold on as he transitions for the second last time. A little bit too early, but he makes it work somehow as he flicks it out, getting the back of that 180 lovely out to the wall as he smokes up zone 8, maybe coming away just a little bit too early and over the line, but yeah, no, not a bad first run for Rifat. Room for improvement, which he's well capable of, but yeah, Rifat, you know, one of the nicest guys in the grid here. He really does. He helps out all the international drivers the whole way through this season, bring down to the shop, helping them with parts or anything they want. He even brought us out the other day there, a good lot of us, and was our tour guide up through the Dooms on some quads, and then he cooked us a barbecue as well. So Rifat, not only a good driver, but a great chef. So as we see him there, throwing it wild for zone 5. But see here now, he just dives on a small bit too much angle. I don't know how he made it work for zone 7, but he does as he throws the back of the car wide to the wall. But yeah, he just leaves that zone a bit too early, has to stomp on the front brakes to try and keep it in there. So our judges, you know, will be deducting a few points for that one. As we see a lovely drone shot of the surrounding areas here from the Muscat Drift Arena. Absolute beautiful area. But we move it on to our next driver representing the Lebanon. It is Hussein Misalani, as we see Hussein throwing a V80 46 in wild. Big flick. As I hear the judges in my ear saying nice. So, you know, they are going for that risk reward on initiation. If you want to stand out from the crowd, you need to do something wild, and Hussein doing a nice job now. Absolutely. Maybe a small bit wide in the zone 4, but he gets it out to the wall. As you see him now flicking out, getting to zone 5. So you hear the screams of that V8, oh, just possibly dropping a wheel just before 6. Now as Hussein ends up a small bit on the inside of the track, but he'll, oh, and a bit of a straighten there. Just unfortunate. That straightening, yeah, just putting him on the inside of the track as he puts foot to floor and bringing it over the line. I know he has better runs than that. I've seen him do better. Hussein, you know, he's one of the nicest guys in the grid. He's just so happy to be here. He absolutely just loves drifting. But that was such an aggressive initiation. But he ends up getting 1, 2 and 3 nice, and then yeah, just from here now you see a bit of a handbrake drag. Gets zone 4. I think he might put one wheel off, but look, he's 2 on there. Comes through, and then yeah, it's just the second half of this run he ends up a bit too shallow, which pushes him out wide. Then he has to kind of stomp on the front brakes to try and stop the car going 4 wheels off, and yeah, then it's just really fighting with that E46, just doing anything he can to try and get it into that last zone, zone 8, and over the line. So yeah, another driver with a bit of work to do. Okay, we move on to the second of our Al Shahani brothers. It is Tariq. He is representing Oman, another local driver here. So we see some marshals just coming off the track after tidying up a few cones there from Hussein's run. So there we go. The strobe lights on, the start line flashed. Start line marshal gives a signal, and Tariq is away. He is just drifting out of the chicane in this absolutely beautiful orange 180SX. As we see Tariq now doing a nice job midline, coming through just as the judges asked, ticking all the boxes, keeping the inside wheels off. Can he keep the back wheel on the track? He does. Filling zone 4, lovely. As we see him now transitioning back, can he get out to 5? He does, fill in zone 5. This is not a bad run at all from Tariq Al-Shahani. As we see him flick back for the touch and go at 7, lining himself up for the transition onto the wall, gets out nice and deep. Oh, maybe coming away a small bit early during the middle of zone 8. The judges want him hugging that wide line all the way around, which obviously comes back to from the transition from 7 to 8, trying to get yourself out wide. But that's not a bad first run for Annie. Lovely start to the run, touching clip 1, nearly perfect, getting into that midline just as the judges asked in our driver's briefing this morning. Even clip 3 there is not bad. Maybe a small bit of a wheel drop there just coming into 4, but he fills that zone absolutely near perfectly. So that's not a bad one for Tarouk. It's a good one to get the nerves settled. Okay, here's a man representing USA. It is Nicholas Solomon. This beautiful BMW. Nicholas told me he's just getting comfortable in this car, and he is going for a high score today. So I said I'm going to say that in his first run. Nicholas, don't let me down. So I really hope he doesn't. But we see Nick coming through 1, 2 and 3, absolutely near perfect. Oh, just a bit of a straighten to try and keep 2 wheels off, which pushes him on the inside of the track. I feel that's my commentator's curse coming into play, which he will probably blame me for later on. As we see Nick now salvaging this run, getting lovely and wide out through 6 as he transitions for the touch and go at 7, keeping that back wheel on the white line as he flicks out for the wall run. Nice and deep. Can he fill zone 8 all the way around? Yes, he can. Nicholas Solomon, a well-experienced driver, and he does a good job bringing it over the line. Maybe just 1 or 2 little small mistakes, but not a bad first run. Yeah, so you see Nick doing a lovely job through 1, 2 and 3, and then here's where it goes all wrong. He's to handbrake and kind of correct, keep it from going 4 wheels off and sending him out for that wall. So that will affect his score. I don't think it'll be a 0. I do think it will be a score on the board, but we'll have to wait and see. And we move on to our first UK driver. It is Ian Biz Phillips. Biz coming in that V8 350C, throwing it in. He says he's here and it's the last round. He wants to get a nice result, and we see Biz throwing massive angle. Oh, just a small bit of a straight in there as he comes through 3 and 4. A little bit shallow now, missing zone 4 nearly completely now. Can Biz salvage the second half of his run? He's very shallow, just not that deep. So we see our judges would like to see him deeper as he transitions out for 7. Yet again, he's ticking the boxes, but he's just not that deep. As we see Biz, now he's deep, throwing it out to the wall for the last zone, last corner, hugging that white line. Yeah, funny, Biz was as deep on the first half of the run as he was in the second half of the run. But look, it is a score on the board. He's one of the nicest guys in the grid here this weekend, Biz, having the time of his life. As we see him there now, yeah, just from here he ends up nearly have to straighten. Look, as it dabbed the handbrake very early to try and keep that car sideways. So I know that will affect his score because he ended up completely on the inside of zone 4 and zone 5 there as well. So yeah, Biz, another driver with a lot of work to do on his second run. Right, so we will move on to another driver from Oman. It is Ali Al Boushali in this crazy 180SX. Listen to the V8 scream as he tears down the straight. Ali was doing brilliant runs all morning in practice. He was one that actually caught my attention straight away. So yet again, look at this from Ali. 1, 2 and 3 doing a good job, dragging the handbrake to get out to 4, and he just puts him a bit on the inside. We see him stomping on the front brakes to try and bring that 180 back out to the wide part of the zone, transitioning lovely for 5. So we see him now putting foot to floor. Oh, and huge angle through 6. I actually thought he was going to over rotate. Gets it back for 7. A big stall up. He was on massive angle there, but he does keep that car sideways and he keeps it moving forward. So we see him there now struggling to keep it in zone 8 and bring it over the line. So I'm wondering, is it, these guys practicing all day long, has the temperatures dropped, the grip levels have changed on this circuit? Is this maybe coming in as a factor and catching some of them out? If so, they're going to have to go in and do a little bit of tinkering with their setups before their second run, and they don't have that long for their second run. So I really hope Ali can figure it out, because he was driving like a boss all day long. So a guy I kind of actually was rooting a bit for, one of the local guys here from Oman. Such a nice guy, very helpful for all of the international drivers. And yeah, you see here as he comes through, throws on massive angle. I don't know how he didn't over rotate, But we move on to another international driver, and it is Eggers, rep from Latvia, in his Eurofire BMW, throwing it in. So we see Eggers doing anything he can to keep on that qualifying line, doing a nice job, maybe just dropping one wheel there as he works his way up to zone 4, but no big long handbrake drag, so even if he dropped the wide line, I'd say our judges will like that one. He only dropped one wheel, but he transitions back lovely for zone 5, getting out so wide, hugging that outer line. This is not a bad run from Eggers as he transitions for the second last time, getting into zone 7, lines himself up for the transition out to the wall. Yes, he does, on the white line all the way through zone 8. This is a nice second half of the run from Eggers, and he is going to be delighted with that. He's one of the drivers that was the first man in queue for practice this morning. Actually had his car in the queue probably an hour and a half before practice even started. So yeah, he was there before the driver's briefing, so that is commitment in my eyes. He wanted to get as many laps in this morning, and maybe, just maybe, looking like it has paid off for him. As we head back to the line, it is another Oman driver. It's Haitham Al Hadidi in his monstrous S15. So this car unfortunately had some mechanical issues last week in practice, and Haitham was lucky to have a spare car knocking around. He went out in that. He did well in qualifying, and then in practice on the next day for battles, he just had more mechanical failures. But this car is back, and it is looking stronger than ever as we see Haitham, a well-capable driver, throwing it in lovely for zone 1 as he puts the foot down now. Listen to the pops and bangs from that S15. He does a great job. Big handbrake drag though, just trying to get that car settled for 4, maybe transition a small bit early. You see him putting the foot down now, getting it back, gets it out lovely and wide for zone 5. Not a bad run, but we definitely have seen better runs from Haitham in the past. As we see him now transition for the second last time, getting out to zone 7. As he flicks it back, lovely out to the wall, nice and wide. Can he hug that white line? Yes, he can. Of course he can. As he brings that S15 out and over the line. That's not a bad run from Haitham Al Hadidi. We know he's going to be happy with that. You know, at least he's delighted to make it to qualifying in his S15. He did have some issues earlier on. I seen that car up on access stands, but I don't think it was anything as bad as last week. So we see Haitham now, just a little bit of wobble there. He's to drag it to get zone 4, maybe a small bit shallow to start, but he does a good job for the second half of that zone, getting it out wide, and then here flicking in lovely for zone 5, not doing a bad job at all for the second half of this run. So all in all, that's a good run from Haitham Al Hadidi. Okay, we move back to the start line. Representing the Netherlands, it is Clint van Oort. Clint is just having so much fun. He told me he's going to wreck the back of the car this weekend because he's a brand new body kit for when it gets home. And we see Clint doing a lovely job there through zone 1, 2 and 3. Absolutely beautiful from the Dutch drivers. We see a bit of a handbrake drag. Oh, and a big bang in front of our commentary tower here. But Clint doing a nice job at zone floor as he flicks it back now, has to kind of just hang on the handbrake ever so slightly, let that car settle. Now he's back on power. Oh, and unfortunate for Clint, getting it all wrong, just over rotating. I can see the hitting his helmet there in the car and the steering wheel, which is very unfortunate because another guy that was putting in some beautiful laps just before qualifying. I'm not sure if it's nerves or if it's the change in track conditions, because it's after cooling down a lot here in Muscat, so I wonder, you know, that track could be a lot more grippier as the temperatures drop, so it's going to be interesting to see what Clint can do in his second run. A guy that, if you had have asked me before qualifying to put my pick, he would have definitely been in my top 5 by some of the runs he was doing. So yeah, I really hope Clint and the guys, you know, can get that car sorted and get back out for the second run, and we can see the runs that he was putting in all day and kind of give us the runs that we deserve. So as we move back to the start line, it is Timur Lipski in this crazy, and I mean crazy, E46. The noise of this car, like, the Ukrainian driver is just a weapon. The speed he was carrying here today, he couldn't even keep it on fire, or my apologies, he couldn't even keep it on throttle because he literally was just, he's on fire all day. Like, absolutely beautiful lines. So let's see what Timmer can do in his first qualifying run here. And this is a great start to the run now. Doing exactly as the judges asked, ticking all the boxes. A little bit of a handbrake jag. Bit too early, kind of gets him a more bit shallow, but he does a good job to keep that back wheel for the second half of zone 4. As you see Timmer flick back now for 5. Not a bad run from the Ukrainian driver as we see him transitioning out for touch and go. Clip 7, line up for the last flick out to the wall, nearly tagging the back of that BMW along the wall as he fills that outer zone 8. Lovely, and bringing it over the line. That's not a bad run. That's a good one now to get them nerves settled, you know. Come out, get a score on the board, and then you can go for your second one and push it so much harder. And I will be expecting Timmer to do that exactly. See him hugging that white line for the second half of zone 4. Nice job at 5 there as well. Not a bad run from the Ukrainian driver Timur Lipsky. Okay, we move back to the start line. It is Steve Baggioni. It is Bagsy from the UK. As we see Bagsy leaving the line. Listen to the screams of this V8 as he tears down the straight in his PS13. Bagsy throwing in lovely, absolute perfect through clip 1. So he puts the foot to the floor on the front brakes there, trying to keep that car settled, doing a good job to keep the inside wheel off that inner clip. Bagsy now out wide for zone 4. This is not a bad run from the UK man as he flicks back out wide, carrying huge angle, hugging that outer line. I think our judges are going to like this one now as he comes through clip 6, flicks it back for 7. Bagsy's on a beautiful lead line here now. We see him, oh, so wide, out on the white line all the way around 8 and over the line. That is not a bad run whatsoever from Bagsy from the UK. Watch this initiation, just so brave, risk reward, and that's exactly what the judges want to see. See him just stomping on the front brakes there just to keep that car ever so slightly pushed out from the inner clip there. Doing a nice job coming into 4, hugging that outer line all the way around zone 4. So yeah, that's not a bad run whatsoever from Steve Baggioni. So we move back to the start line and it is Nazir Arharbali representing El Salvador in this absolutely beautiful 350C. Just crazy car. Nazir, such a good driver. He got second place at round 3 last week, so we know he wants that top spot. Nazir, one of the drivers who is still in contention of winning the championship, but he needs a good result in qualifying tonight as we see him throwing it in lovely as he comes around the first section now, getting out wide for clip 2. He's on the front brakes, doing a brilliant job through 1, 2 and 3 as we see him now dragging just ever so slightly, bringing him a small bit on the inside. Big clutch kick now to try and get them 2 back wheels wide into zone 4 as he flicks back, keeping 2 wheels inside the white line all the way through 5. Hugging that outer line is Nazir as he flicks for the second last transition into the touch and go 7. Transition back out to the wall. This is not a bad first run from Nazir Arharbali. This guy I was talking to earlier on, and he wants that top step. Driving like that, he could put himself in a good position to try and get it tomorrow night in battles. So yeah, Nazir is currently sitting 7th in the championship with 144. So, you know, he's still in there. Top qualifying tonight, you know, get you 11 points. And then a podium tomorrow could change it for him, but he does have some tough drivers ahead of him, and there's a lot of them guys want to be crowned the 2023 Oman International Drift Champion. So we will have to wait and see, but we move back to the start line. It is Ahmed Al-Amri representing Oman in this crazy V8 S15. As we hear him coming down, throwing it in there nice and wide through clip 1. Lovely job for this first section, midline, just the judge's ass, getting out, tagging 2, keeping all wheels on the track. Lovely through 3. This is not a bad run at all from Lamry as he has to drag the handbrake to try and make that car settle out wide. For the second half of zone 4, he hugs that outer wide line. Lovely transition back. Yeah, this is not a bad run at all for Ahmed as we see him flicking around for the second last transition into touch and go at 7, lines up, transitions back for the wall. Nice and wide through zone 8 as he brings it around the last corner and over the line. That's not a bad run for Ahmed Al-Amri. So we're just looking at Al-Amri's replay here. That's the only bit there I could fault in it. He maybe dragged the handbrake a small bit too much. Was very shallow at the start of zone 4, but from halfway around he hugged that wide outer line. Other than that, this was a lovely run from Al-Amri. Another driver had a brilliant weekend last weekend, coming third on the podium at round 3, so he is still in with that championship contention. So him and Nazir are actually joint 7th, so yeah, both them guys want to try and get as many points tonight in qualifying and get us high up that battle order for tomorrow. But another man who is sitting 6th in the championship, it is the Lithuanian Andreas Vasiliauskas. So as we see the strobe light flash, and yet again another Eurofighter leaves the line. I've never seen as many Eurofighters in one place as I've seen this weekend, but we see Vasiliauskas throwing it in there, not even a bit of handbrake, a very brave fast initiation, putting foot to floor, bringing it lovely through 1, 2 and 3 as we see him now coming in, big handbrake drag, but he gets wide into zone 4. That will work out perfect as he puts the back wheel perfectly on that whiter line as Vasiliauskas bit shallow there for 5. So we see him dropping 2 wheels now. Yeah, just getting it all wrong between 5 and 6. Can he salvage a second this run? Gets out wide for 7 as he transitions for the last time out to the wall. As we see him hugging that outer line. Maybe coming away a small bit too early in zone 8, but he brings it over the line. That was a very, very fast run by Vasiliauskas. So we see here, watch his brave initiation. Just flick, flick. Not a bit of handbrake, not nothing. Just send it. That's exactly what we want to see. Risk reward, and I'm sure our judges will reward him for that. Yeah, the first half of this run was so nice, but then just watch from here. He ends up a little bit shallow after zone 4, coming into zone 5. Yeah, and then just dropping them 2 wheels there before clip 6. So we see him salvage through 7. That's not a bad run. I'm nitpicking here. So we see Vasiliauskas absolutely smoking zone 8 out of it. Another guy that is in run with the championship contention. He is in 6th position and he wants to be crowned a 2023 championship. Okay, back to the line. It is Nicholas Bertos, Nick Knack, representing Latvia. This kid has had a hard week, okay? He had some engine problems. Not exactly sure, but I know a new V8 went into this only 2 days ago. This car was mapped on Tuesday night, and then he just added nitrous, which he didn't have for the last 3 rounds. So he's got like an extra 60 brakes horsepower with that shot of nitrous. And look at this young Latvian driver. My apologies, Nick Knack throwing it in so fast. Wow! As we see him putting foot to floor, 1, 2 and 3 out, lovely and wide, hugging that outer line. Oh, maybe just a half a wheel too wide as we see him flick back now through zone 5. Nick Knack doing a great job. This is a good first run. He should be a high scoring run from the young man from Latvia as he comes back flicking that E36 so bravely around, so committed, so comfortable. You know, I'm actually delighted. I've seen the week these guys had here. They were fitting engines, repairing engines, looking for parts. Had it on the dyno at like 10 o'clock here on Tuesday night. Missed the street parade unfortunately because of it, but he is here for qualifying, and with a run like that I'd be fairly confident he will be here for battles tomorrow night. So yeah, not a bad run for Nick Knack on his first run. Nick Knack sitting in 5th position, so yeah, he's doing anything he can to try and keep his championship contentions alive, and we hope it was worth it because he had a long week, okay? Him and his dad and all his team, they were just so busy trying to get that car ready, so I'm delighted to see him get a run in. Okay, back to the line. It is representing Jordan, Mr., as I like to call him, all the pops and bangs, Ahmed Daham, as we see Daham throwing it in wide. Daham is currently sitting in 4th position at championship. We know he wants to be crowned the 2023 champion of Oman. But what can he do as we see him coming in? Oh, a bit of a handbrake drag to make that car settle, but he is lovely and wide through zone 4. The most difficult part of the track, and Taham is making it look so easy as we see him now transition nicely and wide out for 5, possibly dropping 1 wheel there just before 6, but he does a good job to keep that S14 on the track as we see Taham now transition back for the wall, tagging the back of that car off that wall. Lovely, small bit shallow midway through zone 8, but brings it out over the line. It's not a bad run for Ahmed Taham. It was very, very fast. That's what that run was. Really hard to keep up with Taham. So yeah, another guy currently sitting in 4th in the championship. So he wants to get as high in qualifying tonight. These guys, they're trying to get as many many championship points in qualifying tonight, so they maybe can have a little bit more of an advantage in the championship standings going into battle action tomorrow night here at the Oman International Drift Champion. Ahmed Taham, such an experienced driver. And again, absolute pleasure to watch. This car is insane. You would nearly go deaf standing beside it with all the banging that comes out of it. As we hear Taham putting the foot to the floor. And we will have to wait and see how he gets on in qualifying. Okay, unfortunately I've been informed that we have a retirement, 3rd in our championship, representing Ireland. Alan Hines is just having such a hard time with his engine. The engine was out, it was just getting mapped last night, it wasn't run right today. He said look, they're going to just, he's salvaged the engine, you know, what's left of it before it does any more damage. So, you know, big blow for Alan Hines, a guy who was 3rd in the championship and looking as a favourite to possibly win it. So yeah, very unfortunate. So we're going to have to move on to 2nd in the championship, representing Lithuania. It is Benediktas Cherba in another Eurofighter, and Cherba, all I can say, is fast this weekend. As we see Cherba now absolutely on a perfect line. He was picking the judges' brains so much in qualifying today, trying to figure out what he can do to get the maximum points, and it looks like it has worked. I don't think he's put a foot wrong yet so far, as he is hugging the outer line absolutely everywhere he goes. This is a brilliant run from the Lithuanian driver as he flicks back for the 2nd last time through clip 7, lining up for the wall run, bringing that Eurofighter so wide out to the wall. I'm sorry, it's a Cherba fighter. That's what he informed me the other day when we were out on the quads, as he brings it over the line. That was a good run, and that's one of the guys that I said is going to be hard bet this weekend. As we see Cherba here, look at this, absolutely pinpoint accurate, putting the back of that car exactly where the judges asked, and the front coming through clip 3 there. Lovely job by Cherba, hugging the outer line all the way through zone 4. This is going to be a high scoring run in my opinion. We see Cherba smoking them tyres through that last corner in that last zone and bringing it over the finish line, and what a run. But the man that has the target on his back, it is Ali Makseed, representing Kuwait. He is leading the championship and he wants to be the first Middle Eastern champion in Oman. Ali is driving like a man possessed so far today. I was talking to him earlier on and he said, like, there's going to be hard to beat this man, put it that way, as we see Ali on a beautiful lead line, basically saying anything that Cherba can do, I can do as well. As we see him now transitioning back, small bit shallow there, 2.5, but I'm nitpicking from this man as we see him carrying huge angle on that GT86, bringing it around for the last transition out wide to the wall, filling zone 8 as he brings it over the line. That was a really fast run from Ali Makseed. It's going to be interesting to see what the judges think of that one. I think it will be a high scoring run, maybe a small bit shallow in 1 or 2 places, and you know, as the championship leader and the man with the biggest target on his back, he needs to be putting it absolutely pinpoint accurate everywhere he goes. But we see there now, watch this, throwing huge angle on, making sure to keep them wheels on track at clip 6 as he flicks back for 7. So yeah, Ali Makseed and Benediktas Cherba, only 7 points between them. Okay, and there's 11 points for the top of qualifying, so these guys, every point they can get, they're going to want to take. So yeah, that is the end of our first run here at the Muscat Drift Arena at the Oman International Drift Championship. So we are just going to take a quick little break just to reset our systems, and then we will be moving back to the start, where we will see Salah coming back out and going for his second run. So yeah, if you will just join us back in a few minutes, we will be getting the second half of qualifying underway very shortly.
كل نهار جديد يبعث معه أملاً جديداً لنرسم الرؤية ونصنع الإنجاز. كل نهار جديد يبعث أمجاد الأمس وطموح أمة تسابق الزمن بكل عزم وإصرار لأجل عمان. اليوم غاية وهدف. منذ أكثر من 50 عاما، من جيل إلى جيل، لأجل عمان الغد.
Okay, so welcome back. So I do have the results of our first qualifying run. So we'll just go with the top 10 for now. So first it's Nazir Arhabali in 10th. In 9th it's Ahmed Daham. In 8th it's Ali Al-Boushi. In 7th it's Steve Bagioni. Bagsy. And 6th, it's Amran Lamry. 5th, it's Viskelis. 4th for Eggers. 3rd for Ali McSheed. 2nd for Hypman Al-Hidi. And number 1 at this current time is Benedictus Cherba. So yeah, as we see Samir going for his first run, and just unfortunate, very similar to his first run. He's just coming in a bit too hot, over rotating. Obviously one of the guys who just could not figure out this tight technical first section that our judges have put up today. So yeah, it's very shame for him, but look, he will try and put a show on, and just no, getting it all wrong. That S14 looking like he's no grip whatsoever. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what way the rest of the drivers will deal with this track. Okay, so we move it back to the line. It's Abdullah Saif, who is currently sitting in 30th position. So a little bit of work to do there to try and get out of that danger zone. As we see Abdullah now leave the line, representing Oman. As we see Abdullah throwing it in, a little bit shallow there. Judges said they want mid-track, but he was hugging the inside line, which puts him inside there, but he's not doing a bad job. He is fast, and yeah, no braking whatsoever, but he's 4 wheels off, fully committed. You know what, credit is due. He did not lift 1 bit at all through that. So yeah, that would probably 4 wheels off is a 0 for Abdullah, so he will currently sit in 30th position. So that's a nervous way for him, you know. Only 2 spots to be knocked out with battle action tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting to see where he will end up. As we see him running over his own bumper. There's nothing worse, like the worst feeling ever as a drifter, just breaking up your own body panels. No one wants that. But it is the last round, and these guys did say they were going to send it hard today. So look at this for commitment from Abdullah. He was absolutely flat out coming through here. I was like, he's on to a winner, and then just barely brakes at all. Ends up on the inside of the track, which then pushed him so wide out, looking at the hit the end of the wall, and then yeah, the cone knocking that bumper off. So that will be a 0 for Abdullah Saif. Okay, we move back to the line. Representing Algeria, it is Nayam Mazous. So he is currently sitting in 33rd position. So he's right outside that bracket, but he got a 0 on his first run. So if he can just get some bit of a decent run in here, he will get into battle action tomorrow night. What can he do? As we see Mazous throwing it in. This is a much better first half of the run. Oh no, I jinxed him. I'm not sure now. That big opposite drift. That cone stuck underneath the car there. I wonder did that come into play. And we see him still taking a cone for a spin. Absolutely, the cones are getting a hard day today. They're being carried all over the shop. As we said, Mazous doing anything he can to try and salvage this run. So yeah, Mazous just salvaging the rest of this run. I wonder, will it be enough to get him out of 33rd position? I don't think it'll be a 0, but that incident at clip 3, that's what I'm going to call it, that incident, I think that was 3 wheels off. I'm not sure now, I'm going to have to look at the replay here. As we see him coming in, just getting so inside there, yeah. So he did keep 1, maybe 2 wheels on. That flick there, nearly looking like he was managing into clip 4. So that will heavily deduct his score, but he will put a score on the board, and it'll be a nervous way to see him. As we get ready to head back down to our start line, and our next driver should be Hamza, which look, I've seen weird stuff happen before, that people know mechanical failures or just things going wrong, he didn't make it back to the line, so I need just confirmation from the live stream camera that it will be Hamza. And yes, it is the Jordan driver in his yellow E46. So another guy who is sitting in 32nd position. That is such... that's a nervous spot to be. One driver comes in, does a good run, who's outside that top 32, and you're gone. So Hamza going to have to try and figure out what he can do to improve his score in his first run. As we see the start line marshal give the signal, the strobe lights are flashing, and away he goes. As he's coming down now, he looks like he's lining up for a big flick. Will it be rewarded? Touching clip one, nice. As we see him coming a little bit too wide there, but he gets out to 2 and just ended up on the inside. Cohen goes under the car, Cohen comes back to under the car, but yeah, unfortunate for Hamza, just from clip 3 getting it all wrong. Now he's doing whatever he can to try and salvage as he transitions back very wide, dropping 2 wheels for 5. When you're in 32nd position, this is not the mistakes you want to be making at the first half of the run, but we see him now nearly stalling that car up in huge angle and just getting all out of shape. I think he's just chasing mistake after mistake from that clip 3 incident where he ended up so far on the inside. And yeah, just Hamza, I don't think this will be enough to no, it won't be enough to beat his top score, I wouldn't say. So he'll be a nervous way for him. He will have to hang out there in 32nd position, and it'll be interesting when you have drivers like Clint Vahout and others who are on a 0. They can knock a guy like Hamza out very, very easily, so that's going to be a nervous way for the Jordanian driver. So we'll see, yeah, just all going wrong. You're going from full lock to full lock, snap to snap, and then here transitions too early, has to drag the handbrake, a little bit of a wobble to reinitiate the car and get in there, and yeah, just Hamza unfortunately getting it all wrong on his second qualifying run. Okay, we'll move back to the start line. It is Zarif representing Syria in this crazy, I mean crazy E30 BMW. This thing is a weapon. An absolute beautiful build as well. Like, I was over admiring this car yesterday just as he turned up to the track, and the guys are just so nice, you know, showing me all around. Very proud of their work, so I really hoping that Zarif can pull it off and get his second run underway. So we're just waiting on some marshals to tidy up some cones there after Hamza's run, and then we will be sending Zarif very, very shortly. So yeah, he is currently sitting in 35th position, so not having the best first run, so he needs to get a decent score on the board there now and jump away from that danger zone. You know, you want to be putting yourself up to about late teens, high 20s, you know, just get into that comfort zone that, you know, he will practically guarantee a safety and guarantee a spot in the top 32 bracket tomorrow night. And really, that is where this show comes alive. You know, we have to do the qualifying to get our battles, and the battles is the best part of drifting. But anyways, Zarif leads the line in this beautiful E30 as we see him coming down, big flick in. See no handbrake at all, doing whatever he can to try and get as many points. Nice job by Zarif as he's on a lovely mid-line, maybe a small bit wide there through 2, but he does a good job to keep it off the intersection of 3. So you see him now, very little handbrake, very wide line all the way through zone 4. This is not a bad run from Zarif. This is a big improvement, I think, on his second run, or I really hope I don't jinx him by saying that too early, as he's a small bit shallow there, a 6 as he flicks back now, gets out to 7. That touch and go at 7, which is all important to line you up for the wall run. He is not that deep, but he is in zone 4 as he leaves zone 4. Or my apologies, not zone 4, zone 8. Do you know what, I was really rooting for him there. My heart was in my mouth to see could he hold on to it. I think that will be an improvement on the score, but we're going to have to wait and see, and that will be a nervous way for Zarif. You see here, a small bit wide at 2, but lovely through 3. As he comes in, look, very little, just a dab of the handbrake, exactly as the judges asked, and it puts him nice and wide. Small bit too wide there, just at the end of the zone, but not Nothing like his first run at all. So yeah, he's currently sitting in 35th position. So I would really hope that would bring him up a few spits and possibly into the battle action tomorrow. But as I say, we're going to have to wait and see at the end. Okay, up next it is Abdullah Mageed in his S14. Abdullah thrown in a little bit shallow there now. As we see him putting the foot down, just seeming like he's out geared, like the absolute screams of that S14 as he tries to bring it through clip 2 and 3. Doing a good job here now with clip 4 as he flicks back round. Oh, end up a bit shallow. Can he hold it? No, look, just putting it on too much lock as he straightens up. But yeah, Abdullah doing whatever he can to try and hold on to that car and keep that drift alive. But I don't know if that will be enough. He is currently sitting in 27th position, so he is in battle action tomorrow. But yeah, just all going wrong. Just as he came through for zone 5, my apologies. As we see him here now, straight in there, moving on. Coming up on the inside there. So maybe not as good as his first run, but he's a bit more of his way. He is sitting in 27th position. Oh, that was a borderline spin. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how our judges call that one. Okay, so we move it back to the line, and it is Zahar representing Oman. So yeah, Zahar is sitting in 36th position. He's outside that top 32. He has a lot of work to do to try and get himself comfortably inside that battle bracket for tomorrow night. As we see the Oman driver leave the line in his 370Z. Listen to the screams of this thing coming down. Absolutely not short of power whatsoever is this car. As we see him very wide coming out to 2. A bit of a straighten there now, which is going to push him wide for 3. He's going to have to straighten again to keep 4 wheels on. And yeah, just unfortunate for Zahar. Getting it all wrong. But he's trying to salvage the second half of this run now as he transitions back around. Very shallow, missing clip 6 as he transitions well too early. Has to like opposite drift, reinitiate for the last transition out to 8-0. And yeah, just very unfortunate for Zahar getting it all wrong. And I'm not a judge, so I don't know exactly, but I don't know if that'll be enough to get him up in that top 32. Okay, we move back to the line, and it is Dennis Miguel in that E46 BMW. He is currently sitting in 12th position, so he's comfortably into the battles tomorrow. So I'm sure he's just going to try to do something a little bit wilder to see can he get himself higher up that battle bracket. As we see Dennis now doing a lovely job through 1, 2 and 3. As we see very little handbraking, and he's on a lovely wide line through zone 4. Can he keep the wheels in between the white line? Yes, he can, as he transitions. Very snappy, fast transition back for zone 5. As you see Dennis putting the foot down, getting through 6 as he transitions for the second last time into the touch and go at 7. Small bit early coming into 7. Will that affect him coming into 8? No, it doesn't. He gets lovely and wide into that zone as he comes around the final corner and over the line. It's not a bad run from Dennis Miguel. That's exactly what the judges want to see coming into zone 4. They said, you know, you can dab the handbrake to kill off speed, but they don't want the big long drags. And that transition there was so brave. It'll be very interesting to see what the judges think of that one. We move on back to the start line to our only female competitor. It is Nora Dude. Look at the flame shooting out the bonnet of this E46. As we see Nora coming down Straight line handbrake initiation, just trying to get that car sideways. She's on a lovely wide line, but unfortunately the judges want a midline through that section. This is going to push her on the inside there, just as Kieran Hines said in the driver's briefing. Nora has to drag that handbrake, doing whatever she can to try and keep that car sideways and not straighten up, as we see her now transition back for zone 5. Big handbrake drag again, maybe just a little bit too early on the transition, pushing on the inside of the track as she comes up now to transition for the second last time, out for the touch and go, getting straight through clip 7, getting ready to line up, flicking out for the wall. Not a bad second half of the run, or maybe I spoke a small bit early, unfortunately for Nora, as we see her bringing that car over the line. So let me just see where she sits after her first run. So she currently sits in 22nd position, so yeah, a few mistakes with Nora, maybe not enough to get a 0, so she is currently inside that battle bracket, so it will be interesting to see what way she will finish up at the end. So we just watched the replay there now. And then we move back to the line to the Yazir Al Shardhar from Qatar. Sorry, I'm just looking for where he sits after the first run. So yeah, he's in 29th position. It's with 25. So yeah, another guy with a bit of work to do, but he is throwing it in wild, nearly 2 wheels off the initiation there, as we see. Yeah, they're doing whatever we can to try and save this run. Listen to the screams of this S15. As he comes end up a bit too shallow on the inside of the track, and yeah, just missed out on zone 4 completely, as we see him flick back. 1 wheel drop there now in zone 5, as they're just looking like he has that car kind of looks like he may be struggling for a small bit of grip out there. It definitely has all the power, as we can hear, with a nice tag at the wall there as he comes in for the last time into zone 8, pushing all the way around and over the line. So yeah, it's a nervous wait for Yazar. He's 29th position, so don't think that'll be more than his first run any higher up the battle order, but he is, as of now, safe. So he is currently in 29th position, so it will be a nervous way for him and his team to see is he safe and make it into battle action tomorrow night. See there, yeah, just dropping wheels, different places. Just the judges will be knocking score after score for them little mistakes, but all them little mistakes add up by the end, so it'll be interesting to see what way they score that one. Okay, back to the line, and it is Wokas representing Oman, going for his second run. So yeah, we see Wokas leaves the line. But look, once he puts the foot down, all the power's there, as we see him throwing it in. Nice initiation from Wokas. So you see him now coming straight through 1 to 2, nearly exactly like the judge's ass, coming up with 3 flicks. Oh, what? Big handbrake drag there now. Big handbrake drag, ended up on the inside of the track, but he does keep that Mustang sideways, as we see him now trying to steady that car up, doing whatever he can to salvage as many points of this run on a nice wide line through 6 as he transitions for the second last time, getting out to 7. Will he be able to flick it out deep to the wall? Not deep to the wall, but he is in zone 8. His back wheel is right in that line, but he's pulling away a small bit too early, as we see Wokas bringing it over the line. And yeah, I don't know if that's going to be enough to improve on his first run. He scored a 55 on his first run, so he is currently in 17th position. But I don't know if that'll be any much of an improvement on that run, so he should be safe for battle action tomorrow. We'll have to wait till the end of qualifying to find out. Okay, we head back to the line, and it is Kremitz in that Toyota Altezza. So yeah, Kremitz, as you remember, came in wild to start the last run, actually ended up putting it into the wall, so he's a guy with a lot of work to do. and only one run to do it, but what a well capable driver. He impressed me last weekend. He was such a pleasure to watch him practice this morning, so we'll have to wait and see. So the strobe light flashes and away he goes. The absolute power in this car is insane as we see him coming out now, throwing it in nice and wide. Through clip 1, midline exactly should you last. Lovely through 2. This is not a bad run from Kremitz. It's not like his first run anyways, because he's definitely made it further as we see him hugging that outer line through zone 4. This is definitely a good run. This is more like the practice runs we were watching the Ukrainian man do in practice this morning as we see Kremitz. And he just puts maybe 1-2 wheels over there as he transitions. Now look at the flame shooting from the ball in the wing from that Toyota Alteza. That is amazing to watch as he brings it around and over the line, absolutely screaming. Definitely will be a score on the board, but will it be enough to get him into that top 32 bracket? Okay, so we're heading back to the start line, and it is representing Kuwait. It is Nazir Al-Mutari. And unfortunately for him, he's in 38th position. He got a 0 in his first run, so a lot of work. One of the guys that was driving very well in practice, and I'm just wondering, is it these changing conditions? The track cooling, that's this afternoon here in Muscat. Is that what's after catching him out? But look, Nazir's off for his second run. He clips the cone, but away he goes. We see him throwing it in brave. Maybe just dropping one wheel initiation, but he does a good job not touching the handbrake at all. Trying to go for his maximum points that he can. Going through clip 2. Lovely, a small bit shallow coming into 3, and then very wide going into 4 as he takes the tail light out with that S15. Nice and wide through 5. See him bringing it around now. This is a very nice run from Nazir. It's just dropping wheels ever so slightly in a few different places, and I said earlier, making all them little mistakes will add up in the end as we see him dragging the handbrake in along the wall. Ended up in the inside of the last corner. Very unfortunate, so I don't know if that's going to be enough. Look, when he's in 38th position, all you can do is try anything you can, go as hard as you can, so it will be interesting to see what way our judges will score that one, and we will find out at the end of the qualifying, our second qualifying runs. So it'll be a nervous wait for him. Okay, back to the line, and it is Fui Shran, represent Malaysia. And this BMW coming down, and them red flashlights in the front look so cool as we see Fu throwing it in. Very brave, not touching the handbrake at all. In a nice line here through 1, 2, as we see him. Just has to stomp on the front brakes to stop going on the inside there in 3. Big handbrake drag, putting him a little bit too early into 4. Dabs the handbrake again, settles the car, salvage as much as he can as we see him now transitioning back through 5 on the way to 6. No, just putting 1, possibly 2 wheels off there just after 6 as he transitions for the second last time out to touch and go at 7 and flicks back for the wall. And yeah, just very, very shallow here as he comes around the last corner and over the line. So not the best run we've seen from Fui Shran, but not the worst one either, to be fair. He is currently sitting in 25th position, so will that be enough to improve it? I don't know. Is he safe for battle action? Possibly. But only time will tell, and it's going to be a nervous way for him and his team. as we see Fu here, yeah, just dropping. I think that was just one wheel, to be fair with him, he dropped there. So, and then from that point he ended up just on the inside a bit too much. You see that back wheel right on the inside line. The judges want to see that out wide on the outside line. So yeah, not the best run we've seen Fu do. But look, we'll move back to the line. It is Abdullah Jawad representing Qatar. He is currently sitting in 16th position. As we see him throwing it in there. Nice initiation from Abdullah. As he comes through, clip 3, doing a good job to try and keep all wheels on the track there. He's a bit wide fill in zone 4. As we see him transitioning back out. Nice transition out to zone 5. As he comes through the crossroad section of our track now, gets ready to transition for the second last time, lining himself up for that touch and go clip 7. Putting the foot down, look at this, along the wall, very shallow, clip 8. I'd be confident to say Abdullah will be safe enough in battle action tomorrow, but I don't think this run will be an improvement on his score. We'll have to wait and see what the judges thought of that one. Huge angle Abdullah's carrying there, like absolutely brilliant to watch, like dialing all the angle on, keeping the foot in and making his way around. But we move back to the line. It is Riyadh representing Oman in that Mark 4 Supra. As we hear him coming screaming down the straight, throwing in nice initiation. Oh no! Does a good job to keep it out of the wall. He is currently sitting in 20th position. Looking like that car is just cut out. Actually, by the looks of it, he looks like he's struggling to turn it. So I wonder did power steering or something go, because that was very uncharacteristic from Riyadh. So he will sit in 20th position. So he got a 45 in his first run. So room for improvement, but unfortunately he couldn't do it. So yeah, we'll just watch the replay here and see what happened, because he came down brave, flicked, and there just not sure what happened there. Well, you can see, maybe I mightn't show it on the replay, but he was trying to turn the steering wheel. It looked very heavy, so I wondered if it was that power steering failure or something like that in the car. But look, he should be safe enough in battle action tomorrow. So we will move back to the start line, and it is sitting in 26th position, the loudest car I've ever heard. The Irish Australian, that is Mick Kelly, Mickey Moo. He just wants to get up that bracket. He wants to get as high as possible for tomorrow's battle bracket. He's in 26th position. He definitely wants to be higher than that. I know Ellie does. So it'll be interesting to see what Mickey Moo can do on his second run. But he leaves the line. We hear the screams of that 180 as he comes down the straight, throwing it in nice and wide through clip 1. This is not a bad start to run from Mickey Moo as he keeps the foot in. Absolutely looking like he's fighting the steering that. Oh, and just so unfortunate. Looks like that would be 4 wheels off for Mickey Moo. Yeah, another cone or two stuck under a car. Cones are having a very hard weekend. Oh, there it goes there now. Mickey Moo just giving it back to the track marshals. He's been a nice guy, really, isn't he? So yeah, unfortunate. I don't think, I'm pretty sure that'll be a 0 for stop drifting and putting the 4 wheels off. But look, Mickey Moo, Mick Kelly is sitting in 26th position, so it will be a nervous way for him. See if he makes it into the battle action tomorrow. I think he could be safe. I really hope he is. Such a nice guy, such a character in the pits, and him and his team out there to help anyone and just entertaining the whole paddock. Such good guys. Okay, so we head back to the start line as we see Mickey Moo. Even our commentary box is filling up with smoke after Mickey Moo's run there. He's just blinded the whole drift arena here in Muscat. But we go back, and it is Ehab representing Lebanon. Ehab is currently sitting in 31st position. He wants to get out of there and get high up that order. So what can he do? But we're going to have to wait for the smoke to clear after Mick Kelly's run. You can't even see the car on the start line as our start line marshal starts to become a bit more visible. Wow, our box is just really smoked over here as well. Absolute brilliant burnout there at the end by Mickey Moog. But yeah, we move it back now. Ehab just waiting for the start line area. It's actually just a run in, and the last corner that is smoked over, and obviously the wind is blowing that way, so we're just going to have to let that clear before we resume action. You know, we need to make sure it's safe and every driver gets a fair shot at it. And look, our track marshals think that is the case. So yeah, Ehab is away. It's lovely as 14. As I say earlier on, he was driving unbelievable, but then having some mechanical issues. Now he's just looking like he's out geared. I wonder, was it a differential or something that he broke, and maybe this is all he has. As we see Ehab now absolutely flying down and putting four wheels off and hitting the wall at the end of it there. He just kept the foot in to see could he try and save it, but yeah, it's unfortunate for Ehab getting it all wrong, coming very fast into his own phone there. So yeah, we watch Ehab's. Yeah, look how fast Ehab was coming through here, and yeah, he just dabbed the handbrake like the judge's ass, but he just could not slow that car down. Oh, that could have went a lot worse. Luckily he got to, well, he did a good bit of damage, but luckily he got to tyre wall and he was able to continue the drift. But I would be very confident that will be a 0 for Ehab on his second run. Okay, so we move back to start line, and it is Ali Al-Shahani. Bazooka, as it says all over his car, and trust me, this thing is a bazooka. It is so loud. I was standing beside the burnout box this morning, I had to walk away because I've never heard anything just as crazy and obnoxious as this car. So I'd love to know what it's like sitting inside driving it. So Ali is currently sitting in 21st position. So yeah, he's in there, but he wants to get higher up that bracket. As we wait just for our marshals just to fix the tyre wall at the end of the wall that Ehab hit. Obviously safety is priority. We can't have a car going into an exposed block at the end. And I'm just looking out the window here now, and I think they're all starting to move back into position. Phenomenal track team that we have here in the Oman International Drift Championship. These guys work so hard. There's so many of them. They're always out. Anything happens, boom, 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 as quick as possible to keep the show on the road for your entertainment. It's an absolute credit to these guys. Such lovely guys. Their passion for drifting is just unbelievable. And yeah, I see them all now scattering back to their positions, just cleaning off bits of fiberglass and that, making sure there's nothing that can go flying or obstruct the car in their qualifying runs. So yeah, we will move back to Ali Al-Shahani very, very shortly. As we see our start line marshal just getting back to position, picking up a few souvenirs maybe off the event there off Ehab's car. But yeah, look, Ali Al-Shani from Oman, currently in 21st position. So what can he do to improve? You see the bazooka there on the side of it, and trust me, this thing is a bazooka. It looks like it's just a handful to drive. You see him cautiously coming through the chicane, because as soon as he puts the foot down, it just takes off just like that. Listen to this absolute monstrous car. Our windows are shaking in the commentary booth here as we see Ali now throwing it in. A nice start of the run, lovely and wide through 2, and nearly pinpoint perfect through 1, 2 and 3, and a big handbrake drag, unfortunately nearly bringing the car to a stop as we see him big clutch kick there, and the Oaks just jumping straight around, trying to finish out that zone 4, but he's very shallow at 5, nearly not getting all the zone, as we see Ali now doing whatever he can to bring it back around through 7 as he lines up for the last transition. Can he get deep to the wall? He's not deep, but he is in zone 8. He's midline all the way through, as we see him bringing around the last section and over the line. That's just one of the most craziest cars ever. Like, I look at this. Look, you can see it when he takes off. It looks like it's trying to kill him as he's driving down the straight in that thing. Absolute monster of a car it is. Definitely living up to his name of the Bazooka. Okay, so we head back to the line, and we have Samir Sabah representing Lebanon. He is currently in 28th position, so yeah, he's in there, but another guy would like to get higher up that bracket. And what can Samir do on his second run in his V8 E36? Lovely car this is. I was over admiring it there yesterday. Absolutely, it's just a weapon of the yoke. Samir's such a nice guy. He is, like, he's just absolutely loving being here. So what can he do in his second run as he throws it in? Very nice initiation, as we see him now midline nearly perfectly too, getting out to clip 2, keeping the foot in, just stomping on the front brakes ever so slightly to keep them front wheels off. This is not bad. Bit of a handbrake drag. He's in zone 4, but nearly brings that E36 to a stop. Does a good job there through zone 4. You see him now transition back lovely and wide through 5. Samir doing whatever he can to try and get as many points on this second qualifying run and just throw himself ever so higher up that bracket. As I see a lovely zone, I can hear the judges in my ear. They like that transition as Samir brings it over the line. So that's not a bad run from the Lebanese driver. See this, look at the first half. This is a lovely first half for Samir. Maybe just, if memory serves me correct, I think he keeps going grand. Transitions here lovely, and then he just ends up a small bit on the inside, maybe transition a little bit too early. Oh no, what do I know? He just left that zone too early, that's what it was, and ends up just on the inside line. But Samir doing a good job there now, and I think all in all that is a very good run. As we see our next driver pulling up to the line, and it is my boy Rifat, the local guy, our quad tour guide the other day, also chef at the same time, and man, he is such a nice guy. Mr. Swap Oman helps all the drivers out during this championship because the shop's only like 20 minutes away. But let's see what Rifat can do. He is currently sitting in 15th position. I know he wants to get higher up that order, and with a starter run like this, maybe Rifat could just do that. Looking lovely so far as he pushes through. Run clips 1, 2 and 3. Big drag though, and just ended up a little bit too shallow at zone 4 as we hear the pops and bangs of that 180 SX as he transitions out wide now for zone 5. A nice line Rifat's on here now. As we see him coming through, transition for the second last time, lining up for that touch and go. Zone 7 maybe a small bit early. He's going to have to transition early. Will he get out to the wall? He doesn't get that deep in the wall, but he is deep into zone 8 as he puts foot to floor, smoking the last corner out of it and bringing it over the line. So nice run there from Rifat. Yes, in the 15th position, so I'm fairly sure he'll be safe for battle action tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see will the judges score that run higher than his first. As we see replay of Rifat's run, and yeah, what a run it was. I know I can listen to the judges in my headset there, and they were liking that one. So so it'll be interesting to see what way they score at the end. But we head back to the line, and it is Hussein Misalani representing Lebanon. He is currently sitting in 24th position, so he's safe in battle action tomorrow, but he definitely wants to get higher up. So you hear the V8 screaming in that E46 with Hussein putting absolute foot to floor as he passes our commentary tower here at this moment. Lovely wide line all the way right on our line through zone 4 as he transitions back. Nice wide line through 5. This is a brilliant run so far from Hussein. Can he save it there? Maybe has come off power a small bit just to keep it in between the white lines. Does a good job though. See, transitions now further last time. Can he get out to the wall? Yes, he can. This is an absolute brilliant run from Hussein. I think he maybe might just push himself higher up that order, you know. Get away from 24, try and get up there in the top 16 and you'll be comfortably safe in battle action tomorrow. But what a run from Hussein Islami. As we see back in the replay here, Hussein like really quick, whatever he can, just keep that E46 on the most widest line possible. Same one of them drivers who, you know, always uses his training using a simulator. I've played with him myself many times, and he's just such a nice guy. He's just so enthusiastic about drifting. A guy like that's enthusiasm is so contagious, especially to someone like me. So I really hope he does go up higher and get himself safe in the battle action tomorrow. And we'll have to wait to find out. But heading back to the start line, and it is the second of our El Shani brothers. It is Taruk in his lovely, beautiful 180SX. Every time I see this car, I'm fully sure he's just resprayed it. Like, I think he resprayed it between qualifying and battles last week. It is looking just perfect every time. So let's see what Taruk can do. He's currently sitting in 14th position. He is safe in that battle action tomorrow. So he is just going to throw it in hard and see can he push himself higher up that bracket. As we see him now coming lovely through 1 and 2. Look at the speed of Taruk as he comes in now into the decel zone, lining up for zone 4. Bit of a handbrake drag there on a nice wide line is Taruk, using all the angle in that 180SX steering kit to throw him around zone 4 as he flicks back wide through zone 5. This is a very nice run from Taruk as we see him now putting foot to floor transitions for the second last time, wide out to 7. Will he flick back one more transition? Not out to the wall, but he is in zone 8 as he puts the foot down. Listen to the screams of this 180SX as Taruk Al-Shahani brings it over the line and definitely brings that beautiful car into battle action tomorrow night. Just 1 or 2 little wheel drops there on Taruk. You know, he was just pushing it so hard, trying to use a little brake as possible and just transitioning as fast as he could. So, you know, risk reward, and hopefully the judges will reward him. But we move back to the start line representing the USA. It is Nicholas Solomon throwing it in. Nicholas is looking so comfortable this morning in practice. We had a good chat. He says he doesn't think there's anything that can stop him, so I really hope me saying this doesn't jinx him now. As we hear that BMW screaming, and look at this for a run by Nicholas Solomon, possibly dropping one wheel there, but he gets the back of the BMW out to the wall, keeping a pin. This is a very fast run from Nicholas Solomon as we see him now doing whatever he can, coming through clip 6, flicks back for the second last time on that transition, touch and go at 7, onto the last transition at 8. Nice wide line yet again from Nick Solomon. He's doing a lovely run and bringing it over the line. That is not a bad run whatsoever, and that run was very, very fast. So as we see, Nicholas is currently in 18th position, so will that be enough to improve on his score of 52? Only time will tell. Very fast run from Nicholas Solomon, doing a great job coming through here, through clip 6. Yeah, I think if we're going to start nitpicking, okay, if we're going to pick bits, I think the last zone he could have been deeper, and he'll probably tell you that himself. You can see his wheel. Now he is inside the zone, but he's on that inside line. Judges want to see him on the outside line. So, but yeah, all in, that's not a bad run from Nicholas Solomon. we head back to the start line. It is Ian Biz Phillips. It's time to get down to business. So we see Biz represent UK in that beautifully prepared 350Z. Supercharged V8. Absolute brilliant car. Biz is currently sitting in 23rd position. So, yeah. I'd say he is safe for battle action tomorrow, but I know he's a guy that wants to get a lot higher up that bracket. So what can Biz do on his second qualifying run as we see him coming down, flicking in? A little bit shallow there for Biz. He's on the inside of the track, but he keeps the foot in, gets out to zone 2. As we see him working through 3 as he comes up now, a bit of a handbrake drag, just a dab. Nice wide line through zone 4 for Biz, just trying to be as fast as he can. Snappy transition to 5. This is a good run so far from Ian Phillips as we see him now transition for the second last time. Not getting out to clip 7. Will he transition? Can he get to the wall? He does. Drags the handbrake just to get the back of the car settled into zone 8 as he comes around the last corner and over the line. It was a nervous run there for Biz, I could tell you by that. He wanted to get so high in the battle action, and it's going to be interesting to see what way our judges will score that. Very shallow in that first half. He should have been a little bit wider out there, but we see Biz not doing the worst job. You know, he maybe dropped wheels in 1 or 2 places, but still not one of the worst runs I've seen today, so it'll be interesting to see what way the judges will score that one. Okay, we move back to the start line, and it is another driver representing Oman. It is Ali Al-Boushi. He is currently sitting in 8th position. You know, I think he got a 74, my apologies, on his first run. So he will be comfortably into battle action tomorrow. So this will be Ali pushing that a little bit harder. I said it earlier on this first run. This man impressed me so much in practice this morning, to the point I went up and said it to him. I was like, he's just one of them drivers that was killing it, and such a nice guy. So I'm really rooting for Ali here as we see him throwing it in nice and wide, doing a lovely job between 1 and 2. Look at this for a line from Ali Al-Boushi. Absolutely brilliant. Lovely and wide coming into zone 4, hugging that outer line as he transitions back. Can he get wide for 5? Of course he can. So we see Ali now putting the foot down and smoking the back of this 180SX. Maybe not as deep through clip 6, but he transitions. Oh, wild transition for 7. Using all the lock to hold it as he flicks back for the wall. Getting nice and deep in zone 8. As we see him coming around the last zone and over the line. That's not a bad run for Ali Al-Boushi. Just hearing the judges' conversation there, and I think they like this one. So will Ali improve on his first score? Only time will tell, and we'll have to wait till the end of qualifying to find out. I think that was the only part he got wrong. Maybe snapped that transition just a little bit fast, which shallow for 5, made him miss 6, and then he kind of has to pedal it to try and get it back online, which he does a good job of getting it back online. Look at this here, nice and wide through zone 8 as we see him come over the line. Yeah, it's not a bad run for Ali Al-Boushi. Okay, up next it is Edgars representing Latvia. He is currently sitting in 4th position. He is going to be happy with this as we see him coming down in the Eurofighter, throwing it in. This is nice initiation from Edgars as we see him nearly perfectly through 1, 2 and 3. Wow, this is a brilliant run. Maybe he's onto a stormer here. He's currently sitting in 4th position. Can he improve on that? By the looks of the first half of this run, I think he can. We see him now making nice and wide, banging that cone completely out of it, not letting affect his line as he transitions for the second last time now. Maybe transition a small bit early, gets to clip 7, flicks it out for 8, not too deep in the wall, but he is out wide in zone 8 as he comes around the last corner. I think this could be a high scoring run, and it definitely was a fast one for Edgars. So yeah, he's scored an 83 in his first run, put him in 4th position. Did he maybe push a little bit too hard? I'm not sure. As I say, we'll have to wait till the end of qualifying to get the results. But yeah, that's 2 good runs from Egar. So absolutely delighted for him. Okay, we move back to the local boy. It is Haitham Al Haididi. He is currently sitting in 2nd position with an 85 back this weekend in his own S15. And man, is this a weapon of a car. And Haitham, he is such a good driver, so much experience for such a young man, as we see him throwing it in. Absolutely beautiful, not a sniff of handbrake, doing a lovely job getting so wide through 1 and 2. Can he keep this momentum going now? We see him now dialing off a small bit of angle, big handbrake drag, and he gets wide into zone 4, coming around. Listen to the pops and bangs of this S15 as you see Haitham doing whatever he can to try and stay in a wide line on huge angle there though. Unfortunately, all that angle nearly stalling up the car. He does a good job not to bring the car to a stop and to keep momentum moving, but I'd say that will affect his score ever so slightly. As I said, he is currently in 2nd position with an 85, so no matter what he does in that one, I definitely would say Haitham will be safe in battle action tomorrow. That initiation, wow, so brave and so fast. This car is just a weapon. It has smoked the Oman Drift Arena out in front of me here, so it'll be interesting to see what way the judges will look at this one. But definitely a guy to watch tomorrow is Haitham Al Haididi. Just there, he just threw on too much angle, flicked back, dropped the wheel, but still managed to get all the clips after this. So that's some good technical driving, just maybe making that one slight little mistake, and sure, that's the difference between a high scoring run and a medium scoring run. But look, we move back to the line. It's the Dutch driver, it's Clint Van Hout. Clint over rotated, just coming into clip 6 in his last run, so he has a nervous one ahead of him, but if there's anyone that can do it, it's Clint. I'm sure his team were prepping him mentally there for this one, and let's see what Clint can do to get a score on the board and get himself safe in the battle action tomorrow. Lovely first half so far, as we see that S14 absolutely on a beautiful lead line. Look at that front wheel right on the white line, exactly as judges wanted. Maybe a little bit too shallow for zone 4. Has to tap the handbrake a second time to try and get the car back in, which he does as he flicks back now. Gets zone 5, lovely as Clint. Now this is the part that he over rotated. Can he hold it again? Yes, he can. As he comes through 6, flicks back for the second last time out to 7. Will Clint get the wall? Yes, he does, putting the back of that S14 out to the wall into zone 8. This is a fast run from the Dutch driver, but will it be enough to get him into battle action tomorrow? I think it will. As we see Clint there nearly lifting a wheel as he comes through zone 4. Absolute nice run. Yeah, just a bit shallow there, clip 6 now, just looking back on it the second time here in the replay, so barely getting into 7. But look, I would say he's done enough, but I'm only speculating because I don't have scores in front of me, so we'll have to wait till the end of qualifying. But I know it'll be a nervous way for Clint, but I really hope he does. Clint, one of the absolute legends in the paddock. We've had so much fun with him over the last 2 weeks here, and I don't think there's any driver that has a bad word to say about him. But we move back to the line, and it is Timur Lipsky representing the Ukraine. Timur is currently sitting in 13th position, so we will see what he can do on his second run here. He is safe enough for battle action tomorrow. So we're just waiting for a little bit of smoke to clear after Clint's second qualifying run, and we will be sending Timur very quick. As I said, this young man, his driving was new to me, but he's someone that I don't think I'll forget after this weekend. He is a beast behind that E46 BMW. So there we go, our start line marshal gives a signal, the strobe lights are flashing, and away he goes. Let's see what Timur can do in his second run. So as I say, he's in 13th position, and let's see, can he get any higher? Lovely initiation, so fast, so brave. Hopefully the judges will reward that, as we see Timur now coming around that first corner as his headlights are flashing. I don't know. I really hope he's not turning them on and off. I hope that's like a strobe effect. So we see him now putting the foot down. Lovely wide line everywhere for Timur Lipski. As we see him coming through 6, transition for the second last time, getting into zone 7. How will he get on with the wall? Will he get deep into the wall? Oh! Shuts down. Wow. That's very, very strange. I'm not sure what happened there for Timur Lipski. Look, he is in 13th position after his first run with a 68, so we will see him back tomorrow for battle action, but it'll be interesting just to find out what happened. And sure, don't you know, it's always the way with drifting. I'll find out as soon as I don't have a microphone in my hand. Someone will tell me what happened. But yeah, Timur, I think he was on to a good run at the start there. A bit shallow at the start of zone 4. Doing a nice job here, all the way wide for 5 and getting deep into 6, and then yeah, just whatever happens just after this transition, he goes to flick back for the wall and nothing. So we'll move back to the start line, and it is Bagsy boy representing the UK. And after the first runs, Bagsy was currently sitting in 7th position with a 76, so I know he's going to be happy with that. So let's see how Steve gets on with his second run. We can see, throwing his hands in the air going, what's going on? What are you sending me? As we see him give the thumbs up to our start line marshal. The strobe lights are flashing, and away we go for Bagsy's second run. As we see Steve Bagsy coming down now, getting ready, nice little flick in, lovely and wide for Bagsy. Listen to the screams of the V8 and that PS13. As we see him on a lovely line through 1, 2 and 3, very similar to his first run. Can he keep it wide into zone 4? Yes, he can. The UK driver doing whatever he can to try and get that top stop, throwing huge angle there into clip 5 from Bagsy. Absolutely lovely line as we see him now transitioning, getting the 7, lining himself up for that wall run, and he puts the back of the car perfectly to the wall run as we see him filling that outer zone, hugging the white outer line and bringing it over the line. That's not a bad run from Bagsy. You see a nice run from Bagsy here. So brave, lovely coming through that. See that, keeping all wheels inside the white lines, exactly as the judges asked. No long handbrake, maybe 2 dabs just to get the car settled where he wants it, but on the perfect white line. Look at this, lovely from Bagsy as he just does a nice comfortable line. And yeah, I'd be very confident that we're going to see Bagsy boy in battle action tomorrow night. He's going to be delighted with that qualifying session. There are 2 good runs from Bagsy. Okay, it's back to Nazir Arhar Valley representing El Salvador. Nazir is currently sitting in joint 7 in the championship, so he wants to get that top spot. He wants to get as many points as possible. He sees Cherba's up there. Him, Cherba and a few others are all in contention for that championship win this year. It's going to be an interesting one to see how Nazir does it. Look how fast this 350 is. Our live stream cameras can barely keep up with him. He's moving that fast. As we see Nazir now coming in. Handbrake drag not too wide at the start of zone 4, but he does get it deep towards the end of it. So we see him now coming up, flicking back with that 350Z. Doing a nice job. Look at that, hugging that outer line. Absolutely lovely as he transitions for the second last time, getting his zone 7, flicking it out for the wall. Out wide for zone 8. Can he hold it in there all the way around? Yes, he can. Nazir, a well-experienced driver, and that is a good run from him. Nazir is currently sitting in 10th position. Well, was sitting in 10th position after the first run, so we'll have to wait till the end of qualifying to find out where he ends up. Yeah, lovely run from Nazir. 2 actually lovely runs from Nazir. Very consistent, very similar to his first run. Such a nice guy and such an aggressive driver. Last weekend in his chase driving just blew me away. Absolutely he destroyed that 350 he did by just tapping lads in the chase position. So I can promise you now, this young man will be providing some entertainment in the battles tomorrow night. As we move back to the start line, and it is Ahmed Al Amri going for his second run. So Al Amri is currently sitting in 6th position. He's comfortable. That man, I was talking to him Tuesday night at the street parade. He is just a man on a mission. Says he wants to do whatever he can to try and win that championship. And he's currently joint 7 with Nazir, who's just ahead of him. So it'll be interesting to see what way it'll finish up, but we'll have to wait till tomorrow night. But there is championship points at stake tonight for qualifying, so the higher you get, the more points you get going in. So Ahmed definitely wants to get a few points in the bag before he goes into battle action tomorrow night, because you know, everyone knows drifting knows you never know what's going to happen in battle action in drifting. But yeah, we're just waiting for some of Nazar's smoke to clear, and we see Al Amri coming up to the line, and away he goes for his second qualifying run. So yeah, currently sitting in 6th position. What can he do to try and get himself higher up the order? Nice initiation for Ahmed Al Amri, as we hear the V8 absolutely screaming in that Sylvia as he comes through up to zone 4. Big handbrake drag, a little bit too early, ends up on the inside. Just very unfortunate, not really getting into zone 4 at all. That will affect his score with the judges, as we see him now doing a good job to try and get it back wide for zone 5 and 6 as he transitions for the second last time all the way out to 7 and flicks back yet again, out nice and wide, putting the foot to the floor. Listen to the screams of that V8 as he comes around the last corner and over the line. It's not a bad run from Ahmed Al Amri. So yeah, we're getting down to the business end. All these guys here are in contention. They still can win the championship, so they need to get as many points as possible. So has Al Amri done enough maybe to get up the top? Still don't think anyone's done a run like Cherba's first run. That one left me speechless, which is a rare thing, trust me. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see to the end. But just watching Lamry's just to the last section here, which is out wide, out to the wall. Lovely stomping on the front brakes, keeping the back wheels on that white outer line and doing a good job bringing it over the line. So okay, we move on to the Lithuanian driver, that is Andreas Vasiliauskas. And we've seen Vasiliauskas, his first run he was very fast. Very, very fast. Okay, he's currently sitting in 5th position, but he dropped wheels from trying to be too fast. No, he went for very little handbraking, and he went for that wild style that the judges want. So let's see, can he tone it back a small bit and get himself up into that number 1 position in qualifying, get a few more championship points under his belt. And look at this flick from Vasiliauskas, definitely caught everyone's attention, including mine, as we see him now on a nice line coming through 1, 2 and 3, working his way up. Big handbrake drag, keeping it wide all the way to 4. Not sure there now. Oh, out to the wall. Oh, how did he not make contact as he flicks back now into zone 5. This is where he dropped wheels the last time, and he is not going to make the same mistake again. And see Vasiliauskas now flicks back one more time. Or sorry, my apologies, second last time, and now he flicks back one more time. Not as deep onto the wall as I would like to see. I have seen him do wilder wall runs this weekend, but he brings it over the line, gives us a little 360 and smokes out the place. So yeah, not a bad run from Andreas Vasiliauskas. So yeah, he's sitting in 5th position, so he will be in battle action tomorrow, but he's another guy doing anything he can to try and get as much championship points tonight here in qualifying. So we'll have to wait till the end to see where he will finish up. Okay, we move back to the start line, and it is the young man from Latvia. It is Nicholas Bertaz. What what can Nick Nat do? As I said the last time, these guys had a tough week putting the new engine into that E36. They got it mapped on Tuesday night, and then they just added a bit of nitrous just to get a bit more power, so why not? He knew he was going for that championship. He is currently sitting in 5th position, but you know, with Alan Hines not competing and bowing out of competition, there's a great chance for this young man to jump higher up the order tonight here in qualifying. Can he handle the pressure? To be honest with you, any driving I've seen of him, he is just cool, calm and collective. And definitely this kid is one to watch for the future. He is just so aggressive in the chase position and so fast in the lead. So we're just waiting for the smoke from Vasiliauskit's 360 to clear. It's just unfortunate that it is blown back towards the start line, but once it gets to a certain point, it's only affecting the run in, and that is not too bad. And yeah, strobe lights flash, Nick Nat gets the signal, and away he goes. So you see the young man from Latvia coming out, throwing it in nice and wide, nice and fast. So we see Nick Nat now putting the foot down. Lovely for 1, 2 and 3. This is a great run so far, as we see him now absolutely hugging that outer line, coming through zone 4, filling that zone completely, and a snappy fast transition from Nick Nat. That was absolutely beautiful to watch. It will be interesting to see what he can do here now as he flicks back for the second last time, tagging clip 7 perfectly. Will he get out to the wall? Not as deep on the wall, but he is in zone 8, smoking the last corner out of it and bringing that E36 over the line. So yeah, that's a good run from Nick Nat. The question is, will it be enough for him to improve on his first score? So he is, he was in 11th at the end of the first run, so he scored a 70 in his first run. So it'll be interesting to see what way our judges will score that. But look, we're getting down to the business end, and all these guys you're seeing at this point, they're all fighting for that champion. They want to be crowned the Oman International Drift Champion of 2023, so they really need as much points as possible. As I say, there is championship points from 1st to 14th position. You know, 1st gets you 11th, 14th gets you 1, everyone else is in the middle. So every point counts at this stage. But when you've these guys behind you, the standard of driving that you're up against, it's going to be a good competition tomorrow night to see who is crowned the 23 champion of the Oman International Drift Championship. Okay, back to the line. It's my man, Mr. Pops and Bangs, Ahmed Daham from Jordan. And look at this, Daham is coming down fast, throwing it in. He wants that top spot, as we see him now coming all the way again. Lovely out through zone 2, putting that inside wheel perfectly out white line to zone 3, as we see him hugging the outer line of 4. This is a very strong run from Daham, as he's on the wall, flicks back again out wide for 5. Definitely, if I was judging this one, I'd be liking this. Can Daham now just hold on to it for the second half of this run as he comes through that touch and go? Clip 7, flicks back for the wall, rubbing the back of that car out to the wall. Absolutely beautiful from Ahmed Daham as he brings it over the line. And wow, what a run from Daham. So Daham is currently sitting in 9th position. Judges, also I noticed the judges liked that one. I didn't hear them say a score, but I heard them say I really liked that one. So it'll be interesting to see where Daham finishes up, but I'd be confident it's going to be high. Absolutely beautiful as we see Daham coming down on the outer line. Maybe just there, like we're going to get nitpicky. That's where maybe he's a small bit shallow. Just put him shallow there at 7, but he still is getting the clip. But look at this wall run from Ahmed Daham. Credit where credit's due. That is exactly what we came here to see, putting the back of that S14 right on them concrete blocks and just risk reward scenario. And man, I really hope he gets rewarded for it. Okay, so we have no Alan Hines, but him ruled out, unfortunately. So we will move on to Benediktas Churba, representing Lithuania. He is currently sitting in 1st position with an 89. What can he do to break that 90s barrier and secure the maximum points in qualifying here tonight and keep his championship dreams alive for tomorrow? As we see Churba on massive angle. He didn't even entertain a handbrake there for that first section. Just put foot to floor, said, I'll steer out of this. As we see him now dragging it in. Oh, and just ended up a little bit shallow. Coming into zone 4, he has to put foot brake down to try and get the back of the car back out, which he does. Little mistakes like that might just be the difference in first and second place, but as I say, he is currently sitting in first with an 89, so what can he do? Lovely and wide for the last transition, out on that white line, through zone 8 and over the line. Yeah, I don't think it was as good as his first run, but I am only a mere commentator, so don't listen to me. I'm not a judge. I'm just speculating and getting excited on good driving. But yeah, Cherba doing a great job here for the first section. And you watch, it's just here now, he's the drag, he ends up a bit shallow, and then he stomps on the front brakes to put the car back out on the wide line. Years of experience in the cockpit of that Eurofighter BMW. Cherba, the Drift Masters driver, doing a great job here, and absolutely a pleasure to watch all day in practice. He was so fast, and I cannot wait to see him in battle action tomorrow, because man, does that driver come alive once he comes into the battle stages of the competition. So with Cherba done, that means there's one. He is currently leading the championship. At this moment in time, he is sitting, my apologies, he is sitting in third position after the first runs with an 85. It is Ali Maxid in that rocket ship of a GT86. He is just so fast around this circuit, so what can Ali do to prove a point, to top qualifying? He won round 3 last weekend. We know he wants to be the first Middle East driver to win the Oman International Drift Championship, representing Kuwait. If anyone can do it, Ali can do it. Such a nice guy. Actually, we've had a good fun with Ali in our hotel and that during the week between round 3 and 4, and I'm just so excited to see what he can do here now. This is one run I'm excited for, because you know he would have seen the replay of Cherba's first run to see what he did to get up into that top position. So yeah, what can Ali do? Taking off in his GT86. Look at this, the speed of him coming down the straight as we see Ali throwing it in really fast. Not even entertaining handbrake, because at the top you can't. As you see him putting his foot brake on there just to control the car. Beautiful through 1 and 2 as we see him now. Lovely wide line, maybe a bit too wide as he one wheel over. Coming through, I don't think he was, maybe that back wheel was on the outer line as we see him now transition for 5. Putting foot to floor, smoking tyres off that GT86 as he transitions for the last time deep to 6 as he flicks back now out wide for our last zone 8, putting foot to floor, smoking the last corner of it and bringing it over the line. Yeah, give it up for Ali Maxid. What a guy. Ali, another driver there that just turns into a beast when it comes to battle action. You should see him in the chase position. He is not scared to put dents in his car and other cars as well from all that door tapping. But has Ali done enough to secure that top spot in qualifying? Yeah, what a run from Ali Maxid as we see him bringing over the line. And you can see from the drone shot there, look at the smoke in the Muscat Drift Arena here in Oman. He has just absolutely blinded the place. So, yeah, we are going to have to wait to find out our final top 32. So, if you at home are interested, just like me, you want to be keeping an eye on all of the Oman International Drift Championships social media events. All the standings will be posted there momentarily. As I say, I don't have it. I'm like you guys and the drivers. It's a nervous way for everyone, and it's going to be exciting to see. But yeah, that is it. That wraps up qualifying for this evening. And what a qualifying session it has been. We've seen some unbelievable runs from the top guys. You know, the top 7-8 drivers who are still in with a chance of winning that championship, putting it all on the line and doing whatever they can to keep their championship dreams alive. So that is it for qualifying. Join us tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon, should I say, 4:30 p.m. local time here in Oman for our top 32 battle. And trust me, this is where the competition comes alive. These guys are going to be doing whatever they can to try and be the last man to win an event in the 2023 season here at the Oman International Drift Championship. Season 5 is coming to a close very, very soon. That's round 4 qualifying done. That means we've only one more session left. Who will be crowned the champion? We'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out. I'm the same as you guys. I'm just dying to wait and find out. I cannot wait to see who it is. But yeah, from me, we're going to leave it there and make sure and check out all the OIDC social medias, Instagram, Facebook, all that, and just keep an eye there, and the results will be posted up very, very shortly. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your evening.
كل نهار جديد يبعث معه أملا جديدا لنرسم الرؤية ونصنع الإنجاز. كل نهار جديد يبعث أمجاد الأمس وطموح أمة تسابق الزمن بكل عزم وإصرار لأجل عمان اليوم غاية وهدف. منذ أكثر من 50 عاما من جيل إلى جيل لأجل عمان الغد.